growing up with dialect in the U.S. This is the second part in this series. I just wanted to touch back on this. There's a lot of different ways to approach this. The last time I kind of talked about vocab and expressions you don't know what is particular to your region, so you don't know, like, if you say, like, oh, he's just sitting there, or he's just sitting there on a like a bump on a log, for somebody who's like not moving, not starting whatever the task is at hand, that sort of thing, or calling a toilet a commode. And so the toilet can also be called commode, depending on where you're from. That was true for me growing up. And so you don't realize you have an accent until you come into contact with uh, someone who's unfamiliar with it oftentimes, because even though you consume content that may be in like a standard accent most of the time, like on television or on the internet, most of the time that's going to be like standard accent you're going to be coming across. And so it wasn't until I ended up actually on the news that I heard myself and realized that I had an accent. So I didn't have a chance to hear myself really speaking until then. And then when I heard myself, I was like, wait a second, I have an accent? And so as a result of that, I actually got really good at hiding my accent. And by hiding an accent, I mean adopting a standard accent. And it's actually to the extent that I just kind of have like an anecdote, which is, I grew up, I was living in, well, I was growing up, I lived in the Piedmont Triad in North Carolina. And I remember there, people were asking me if I was from the Triangle, because the Triangle is a bigger region. And so I guess the idea was that, you're probably going to come to people from other areas, and so they less of an accent over in the Triangle. Now, I then went and moved to the Triangle, and people in the Triangle were like, they were also confused when they heard me speak, because they were also like, are you from the Midwest? Because you just, have an accent, that sort of thing. And then I went and moved to Pennsylvania. It was in Pennsylvania that I learned that there were some words that gave me away. Like I would tell them, oh, I'm from North Carolina. And that was a tell. So I just thought it was kind of funny. I lived in the Triad, they thought I was from the Triangle. I moved to the Triangle, they thought I was from the Midwest. And moved to Pennsylvania, and then I learned that I hadn't quite perfected my standard accent. So today, I'll slip in and out of accents just for fun, to elicit reactions, or as the mood suits me. That's true of multiple languages. But growing up with an accent, you just, a lot of times, even if you're consuming content in a completely different accent, if you're watching British accent, like British TV shows or videos on YouTube, like, you're kind of cognizant, okay, they're pronouncing stuff in a different way from you, but you don't think about the fact that, oh, I'm actually speaking with an accent in my own country, that sort of thing. And it also does remind me of the fact of when I lived in Spain, the British family where the mother was speaking to her child, her young child, and she was pointing at me and going, "Oh, listen to that fellow with that funny accent." And that just really hit me. I was like, now I'm using a standard accent, and they think it's a kind of funny accent because they're British. So for them, it's a funny accent. It's a different accent. It's speaking with an accent. So no matter where you're from, you're always going to be speaking with an accent. Even if you're from the Midwest and you got a super standard accent, you're still speaking with an accent. Just some thoughts that I had I want to share with y'all out there. Until next time, let me know if you had any sort of similar experiences out there. Let me know in the comments. Love to hear about it. And until next time, y'all take care now. Don't remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Until next time, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.